Hey, Cody,
Hey, Faxi.
you know how all of our NASCAR series have different sponsors? Like, you've got whatever the top series is called anymore, I forget. And then you got, like, the Camping
It's
World
isn't
Truck
just the isn't
Series.
just the Cup Series now?
I think it is. So, if Formula One were to have a sponsor like that, what would be the most random, awful sponsor they would have?
Rich Energy.
Oh, fuck. He went straight for the heart right off the bat.
You said worst, most random, and immediately I go,
Oh.
Rich Energy. Come
Can you
on,
imagine that bearded, just rejection
psychopath.
Santa giving out trophies as the head of Reg Energy?
Unfortunately, yes.
I'm dead. Roll credits. Or intro.
Credits.
I don't know words. Roll intro.
What are we doing today? Well, I think today we're going to talk about the 2022 Australian Grand Prix here with the 107% podcast crew. I am the Pia Menace Cody Cattles Miller, and joining me as usual is a Tifosi fanboy himself, Faxi the Greek Contrarian.
Yes, because I am here to disagree with all the bullshit that comes out of your fucking mouth. Wow, I think we already hit our YouTube swear limit.
We hit it, and we're going to go right past it.
Oh, let's
Either
fucking
way,
go.
thank you all for tuning in, whether on Spotify or on YouTube. And make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the 107 Podcast on all of them. Faxi, what do we hit first today?
I mean, we got to talk about the standings real quick just to kind of warm us up, get us ready.
I know with a week with that week extra off, it's feeling a little like a little refresher in our mind.
What did you do on your week off?
Nothing, literally nothing.
I
I
mean,
ate some sushi. That's the most important thing I did.
I ate Korean barbecue and had way too much soju. So trust me, I am in the same. I'm in just about the same
I need some sushi.
park as the. Oh, soju, so good. Um, it's still weird to me that we are. I know we're only 2 races in, but it still just befuddles me that Charles Leclerc is number one in the drivers' championship right now, and that
See, like
the Carlos Sainz is number two.
that for me, that's not even the weirdest part. It's Lewis Hamilton is in fifth.
Only 2 points ahead of Ocon.
And only 4 points ahead of K-Mag.
Like I get, like I said, I get it's only 2 races in. It just feels weird. I think what's also really weird to me is you've got Ocon in sixth place, while you've got his teammate Mr. Steal Your Engine on only 2 points and 13th. Like that. That's weird to me.
And Daniel Ricciardo beating only King Latifi.
Things will change.
Especially as we head to Daniel's first home race in 3 years? 3.
God, it's been 3 years. Yeah, I have to ask you this as we kind of. I know we need to touch on the constructors, but I do need to ask you real quick because it's on my mind. 2020. What were your thoughts when you heard that the Australian Grand Prix was canceled?
I don't think anyone knew what was going on in 2020, to be honest.
I didn't either. I was writing a little bit of a li-fi. Just had a great PAX South 2020. Was ready for the Formula One season. It was going to be the first season my dad and I watched every race, and then roll credits. Just nothing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think 2020 was the year that got me even more so into F1, as it was like, it's the only thing that really felt like it was like, had some semblance of normalcy in like in all the chaos of the world. So for me, it was like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch everything. I watched every race of every, F1, F2, F3 series. I watched fucking practice. I watched everything as some semblance of this is just, a breakaway from everything else going on in the world. So
the Grand Panini is the reason why you're so big into the sport.
Yeah, that planetarium, man, it really just changed things a lot. I've been in it for, I'd say, a decade or so now. But that was the part where I went, I am diving headfirst into this and going to spend as much time on it as I possibly can.
I mean, you sound like Ferrari's R&D department with how the constructor standings are going right now.
Yeah, especially before that, I was playing a Haas where I just ignored what was going on at the time, and then once it became, prime time and it was our time to shine, you just went 100% on it, and we end up somehow being fifth in the constructors or something like that.
I don't believe they'll stay there.
Yeah, me either. I think they'll be up to probably 3 or 4.
Sixth. McLaren is going to pass AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, and Haas. McLaren fifth.
So Cody Cattles Miller, the McLaren pessimist. I don't have McLaren. I have McLaren bottom of the barrel. I have them competing with AlphaTauri for 7th at best.
Yikes.
Because it's not going to be Aston Martin. It's not going to be Williams. I think Alpha's got the Ferrari jet engine in it. Given what we'll be talking on later with Alpine, I see Haas taking 4th. And I think being kind of realistic, Haas in 4th. Well, let's kind of focus on what we have now, which currently with a resounding lead, we have Ferrari in first in the constructors.
I don't want to believe it.
Double the points of Mercedes and Red Bull.
I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm used to being let down. I'm like a Dallas Cowboys fan. Like this. Or no, if I was a Dallas Cowboys fan, I would be saying we won the title before the season even begun. And I wouldn't accept reality.
Too, because you guys are winning the Super Bowl and proceed to not make it to the playoffs.
Fucking hate the Dallas Cowboys.
Go Pack, go.
Do you see Red Bull or Mercedes too? Give it 3 races. 3 races into the future. Who's second, Mercedes or Red Bull?
Red Bull. I don't think it's even close.
Same. Moving on. Hey, Cody, what got confirmed right after we recorded our podcast?
I'm pretty sure as we wrapped up the recap and you hit stop recording, Liberty Media announced that the Las Vegas Grand Prix will be happening. The first of 3 races will be in November of 2023 on a Saturday at night.
To be fair, I don't think it was right after because I would have immediately turned the mics on and we would have done a quick edit. But
it was like 20 minutes later.
I was already encoding and I'm just too lazy to fucking stop at that point. Yeah, we get Las Vegas. We're going to have 3 races in America. I'm worried about COTA. Just because, Texas track, I think it is a beautiful track myself. I've been there twice now to go watch vintage car racing, just because my family's a part of it. I really want Formula One to stay there, but now I'm getting worried that we're about to lose what was supposed to be the crown jewel of U.S. Formula One to a street circuit and a street circuit, which kind of leads into something you and I wanted to talk about, was the layout of the Las Vegas track and kind of our feelings overall with, I guess, track layouts.
You mean that ugly piece of shit? We're calling that a track layout now?
I don't think it's as bad as you're saying.
It's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
I don't think it's as bad. Like I've got it up right now.
They're better off racing on Daytona on a fucking oval than they are on that.
I disagree with you.
That I absolutely hate this layout. I think
I'm kind of curious to see the speed coming through turn 14 through the start finish into the hairpin in 1. I think that little kink may take away from possibly some close racing through 2 and 3 and 4. I don't see as many passes possibly happening down Koval Lane into that hard right-hander. Obviously, 6, 7, you're not going to get a lot. 6, 7, 8, you have to have the technical S. That's very tilky of them. That weird kink in 9 before you just take off.
instead of having the Sochi drone in Russia, we're having it in Las Vegas now.
I would take this over Sochi, though.
I mean, tell me that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 doesn't give you some Sochi vibes.
It kind of does.
I mean,
It kind of does.
I mean, literally 5, 6 is Sochi, except instead of into a 90-degree right, you have a slightly, curved, like 75-degree right.
5 looks like a 90-degree in the thing I'm looking at.
Yeah, 7 is.
Oh yeah, 7 just looks like one of those sweeping.
Instead of exiting into a 90, it goes into a like sweeping 90-degree turn versus a sharp 90.
This track would have been awful with the 2021 cars.
Oh, fucking terrible.
We would have had one of the worst races on the schedule.
Cool, because it's not going to be a wet race.
Wouldn't that be funny if we get a Las Vegas wet race?
I'm here for it. It's the only way that this track's going to be good.
Damn. He just went straight for the fucking jugular. I mean, you and I were talking before stream. I feel like my hype has died a little bit for the track as I've been looking at it. Not necessarily what you've been saying, but just as I've been staring at the layout, I'm starting to see the flaws with it. I really think the best chance for passing is definitely going to be 9, 10 into 11. When you get into that little Baku castle section.
But
that's the best way to describe it.
But you're not going to pass right there. You're going to be passing at the kink in 10 because you're going to DRS pass them before it's even a chance.
Unless you're doing like a Daniel Ricciardo lick the stamp and send it into 11. Which, I mean, at that point, you're going to get some
you're not going
good...
to need to. You're going to be a mile past them in the first place.
I feel like some folks will just be catching up at that point. We'll get some passes there. I'm feeling like
in their car. Nah,
I'm feeling like we're not going to get as much passing at 1 as much as maybe some people going into 14. Though I feel like there's going to be shades of Cops Corner, where people may back out just so we don't have another repeat of what happened then. So I don't foresee a lot it'll
be interesting to see if the NHRA is going to have any input on this track, though, because it feels like we used to have a couple different drag strips calling it the street circuit.
Of course, he would say that.
Am I wrong? Come on.
Yeah, just that I'll give you. That was a funny observation. I'll give you that. Interesting little tidbit, though. Turns 14 to turn 4 are going to be a permanent track.
Ooh. I didn't catch that.
That's straight from the Wikipedia. I've got, I just Googled Vegas GP track, and you can tell which image of it is the Wikipedia. And it has a little blurb in there. It says the section between turns 14 and 4 are permanent track. That's going to be interesting.
Did you hear what their planned start time is for it, though?
Saturday night?
No, time, not day.
Oh, what time?
10 p.m.
Gross. Throw it away. Okay, so you're going to hold races at midnight in New York. Congratulations. You're the Australian Grand Prix.
It's worse, though. Because think of Europe's time.
Okay, same as Australia.
Will it be the same time?
Yeah.
Because shouldn't it be a little...
Because, okay, here's my thought on that.
Well, it's a Saturday night, though. It's a Saturday night, so it's better than a Sunday morning.
Yeah, and my thought is, it's the same thing for Europe watching in Australia as it would be for that. It's just an hour, maybe 2 off at most.
I mean,
I don't see that big of a difference.
Here's what confuses me, though. It's meant to be a race to pulling in American viewership. East Coast having to start a race at midnight?
Yeah, fuck you, New York.
What?
Fuck you, Miami. You get a race? Yeah, you don't get to watch this fucking one. People don't watch Formula One in nightclubs. We watch it at home. Like I have a bad feeling Formula One's trying to be a little too trendy. Remember when NASCAR tried to pull this?
Yeah, it didn't work.
And they're still recovering.
Still. Yeah, I mean, a 10 p.m. start would be a 1 a.m. start time in New York. On the East Coast,
I'm
1
thinking-
a.m. start time.
I'm thinking they're Mountain Time, not Eastern or
They
Pacific.
are Pacific.
Wait, so it's literally the same as Australia. I have a midnight start time for Sunday. What
Yep.
the fuck, Las Vegas? Remember when you and I said we weren't going to spend that much time on Las Vegas, and then we spent this much time on Las Vegas?
Yeah,
I knew this was going to happen.
It always does. All right, let's go to the main point of this whole conversation. What's your thoughts? Street circuits versus dedicated tracks.
I want less street circuits. I hate to say it.
If we're talking same level of quality of street circuits versus dedicated tracks, I want street circuits.
I don't.
Here's the thing. It's very rare we're actually getting good street circuits. So
I hate to say that I'm not the biggest fan. I will say, if you can do a street circuit correctly. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to take that away. You're wrong, but I mean, good for trying.
Oh, you're saying Monaco?
No, I'm not saying Monaco. Like, okay, hold on.
Is there a good street circuit on the F1 calendar right now?
So I'm going through a list of all the Formula One circuits right now.
Yep.
I don't hate Baku as much as you do.
I like Baku.
Oh, okay. I like Baku. I thought you were saying you didn't like Baku earlier.
My point about the Vegas looking like a shitty version of Baku.
Okay.
It's like, hey, let's take all the good things about Baku and make it bad. And let's take all the bad things about Baku and make it worse.
Okay.
That's Vegas.
Technically, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is a street circuit. It's a good one. You're not disagreeing, or you're not agreeing with me, and that's a problem.
I mean,
anyways,
I'm talking about ones that are on the actual track right now.
We have a Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah,
Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. That's the Canadian Grand Prix. You knucklehead.
Sorry, for the reason I was like, is that the other French circuit?
No, you're thinking of Paul Ricard and the other one. The sperm-looking motherfucker is awful.
To my knowledge, it actually isn't. It is a dedicated circuit.
Well, no, they have it listed as a street. It's the same as like Albert Park.
Yes, so it is my eyes where it's technically a racing circuit.
Yeah. Melbourne street circuit, technically. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have to admit, this is the first time I've looked at Miami. I'm not a fan.
I think it's terrible.
Oh my lord, what is this?
Did you watch the video for it?
I watched that awful. Here's like
show all the advertising stands.
Oh my god, they know it's going to be bad, and they're already doing damage control.
If you guys haven't watched it, there's a video that came out recently that is the like Miami circuit like layout. It's not even a layout video. All it does is tell you the names of all the stands and what advertisers paying for the naming rights. That's all it does. And it briefly skips over like the family non-advertised grandstands meant for like, for people with kids, that sort of thing. It just like briefly, like a split second, family grandstand goes to the next one that looks like probably like crypto.com or some bullshit of whatever sponsor it is.
I swear to God, turn 7 through turn 11? It's like they looked at Jeddah and said, I want that. Oh my God, I hate that. I'm not a fan. I will need to see the racing at the track before I like it.
Of the two that are of the ones I'm actually counting as street circuits, which is Miami, Monaco, Baku. I'm not counting Canada.
It technically is, but okay. Same with
I'm
Melbourne.
not counting Australia either. Just because it's used as you can drive on, it doesn't make it a street circuit.
It's used every single day.
So
by street cars.
Are you telling me the Nürburgring is a street circuit?
It's a legitimate racetrack that has open race days. That's different.
But you can drive just because you can drive on it.
Don't you put those
If
words
you
in my
look
mouth,
at the
Bobby
layout
Boucher.
for the Canada,
Swear
look
to
at the
God, I'm
layout.
gonna-
It doesn't actually go anywhere. It's a fucking circuit in a circle. Like it's literally a circuit, which means it connects. It doesn't go anywhere.
I'm gonna
Same
throw
with
you
Paul.
away.
Same with Albert Park.
I'm gonna throw you away.
At least for like the Monaco one, you can get different places.
Ugh, don't bring up Monaco. I hope we actually...
But why are we getting rid of France instead of Monaco for replacing, or for the Las Vegas GP to replace? Real talk, why is that happening? Get rid of fucking Monaco. We don't want that shit anymore.
I've never been a fan of Monaco.
No, it's a
and it's not even because of watching it. It's because I suck driving it on Formula 1. I mean,
tell me Faxi has a bruised ego without telling me Faxi has a bruised ego.
I have an unbelievably bruised ego when it comes. Well, I'm using controller, so there's your problem. I don't have a racing setup, and I don't have room for one yet. I'm not the biggest fan of street circuits.
The only go in Singapore. On the current one of our actual, like, realistic, full-blown street circuits, not the, it could be counted as either.
Even if it could be counted as either, I still like dedicated racetracks more.
All right, so which one do you want? Singapore or Russia?
Singapore all day.
I know.
I'm not saying it's that bad. Oh, God, I'm looking through this, and I just found Dallas Fair Park from the Dallas Grand Prix of 1984.
What about the Nashville track from Indy last year?
Are you sure it was Indy or was it
themselves off the bridge for Indy?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I feel like street circuits are either really good or really bad, versus dedicated courses have such a wide spread.
You know, they do, but I mean, I feel like the quality's a little better. Like, obviously, you're going to get, like, Spain, which just doesn't have the greatest track record in the past, which I do kind of chalk up
France.
To always having testing there. I mean, shoot, I would have Sepang back over.
You know, I am all aboard fucking getting Malaysia back. I want Malaysia back. I want us to race in Vietnam, which will now never happen given all that shit over there with that whole track.
I feel like yeah, street circuits have their own character. They have their own everything.
I think street circuits give you more of a full experience of what they are. Like a night race at Singapore. Tell me that isn't fucking gorgeous and looks like the coolest shit ever.
I mean, it looks gorgeous and it's the coolest shit ever, but at the same time, it's
usually pretty good racing. But
I don't know. Like, yeah, you've had some great starts, but that's about it.
I absolutely adore Singapore as a track.
Okay, but like, if we're gonna talk about old school street circuits real quick, just because I'm looking around at the different circuits that are available on Wikipedia. Which one would you rather...
Didn't your teachers tell you not to use Wikipedia as a source, Faxi?
Hey, fuck off. I have a question. You dick. Just one general question here. Would you rather have the Phoenix Street Circuit, or would you have the Dallas Fair Circuit? Dallas Fair Park.
Option C, Las Vegas GP, because that sounds better than both of those shitholes.
Damn, he went for shill.
I mean, me being opinionated? What?
That
never happened.
Never. I'm dead with you. All right, so I would like to see more dedicated circuits. That's where I sit.
I want good dedicated circuits, not shitholes. That's what I want. I want Hanoi. Give me a Vietnam GP. Give me back Malaysia. That's what I want.
I will take you up on the Malaysia part. And
I
that's
want all
about
the good tracks back. I'll take a South African race. I'll go back to India.
Please give us Kyalami.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Get rid of Abu Dhabi. Get rid of these shithole races that are in the Middle East that end up being terrible fucking tracks. It's only there because they're paying enough money to be there.
And give us the race with the history of the greatest driver walkout in F1.
Give me some damn good races. That's all I ask for.
I think that's all we can ask for.
It seems a little too much sometimes, but
I mean, going from damn good racing to damn good people. I believe you had some news on Mr. Alex Albon.
There's two damn good people who we got some news about. First one, as you said, Alex Albon. Just a little kind of quick little thing, but I thought it was really cool that I wanted to bring in. He had stopped in Thailand and had spent some time with a charity and had let some kids dye his hair red, which I'm not sure if you've seen him arriving at Albert Park. Looks kind of great, to be honest.
I'm trying to find it right now. Let's see. GrandTourNation.com. Do they have a picture of it? I see him. Okay, there's a cute picture of him with all the kids. I mean, good on him for going home. I can't find pictures of him with the red hair. Here we go. Reddit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not that bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Actually looks like not terrible.
You know what? I like the look on him.
Yeah, it looks good.
Alex Albon for Alfa Romeo 2025.
He's just trying to get that Red Bull seat however he can.
You know who would be funny in a Red Bull seat?
Lewis Hamilton?
Sebastian Vettel. Oh, hey, wait. Our friend's back.
He is. Inspector Seb is back.
Inspector Seb. I'm just using the Supermax song, and I'm just replacing it with Inspector Seb. Wait, no. Inspector Seb.
Is it weird that I feel like the season now has officially started now that we have Seb back?
Oh, I'm so happy to see him back. It was only a few days after the last GP he finally cleared, wasn't it?
It was like a little ways afterwards.
How do you think he'll stack up compared to Lance?
I have a feeling. I mean, from what it said, he sounded like he was feeling okay the whole time. I'm assuming Seb probably spent a bunch of time in the sim. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping we keep Stroll at 0 points, and Seb proves that it's not the car; it's just Stroll that sucks.
This is a great quote from him. He said he feels like he's late to school by just now showing up. That's an actual quote from him.
That's the biggest Seb quote I think I've ever heard.
Yeah, after testing positive and missing the first 2 races, it feels a bit like arriving late to school, so I'm really keen to get going again. Starting my season in Australia is something I've done before, of course, and it's also great that Formula One is returning after a difficult couple of years. And of course, the picture I found is him pulling his bike out, his rainbow-covered bike.
Let's go.
Like, it's good to see him riding around. I'm happy. I'm ready. And he's going to score points before Lance does this season.
100%.
100%.
Well, of course it's going to happen because Lance isn't going to score a point all season.
My prediction on that, by the way, it's going to be Lance will out-qualify Seb. Seb outraces Lance.
Oh, yeah. By far. Did you see the picture of Mick and Seb together?
I haven't.
Probably for the first time seeing each other in like a month.
Dude, I
giant
love
grin
this.
on Seb's face.
I love this fatherly figure that Seb has taken from Mick.
I mean, it makes sense.
And I mean, there's a quote even from it saying, Seb says he sees himself as more a friend to Mick. But, I mean, you and I see it. He's an amazing mentor to Mick. And Mick, I feel like we'll owe him a little bit for his success if he does pop off.
100%.
And Michael is just smiling at the thought.
Oh,
or
100%.
would be. Like, that's just, it's great. It's wonderful. It makes my heart happy.
I think that relationship is my favorite on the grid, rivaled only by Lando and Carlos.
100%.
Which
Absolute
is amazing.
100%. I'm excited for this.
I mean,
yeah, I just
yeah, it's
fuck.
great. Now, as we get to more, I guess, serious news,
I'm gonna skip
Fernando
around.
Alonso.
Oh, I was gonna skip around your news.
Wow, I see how it is.
Well, I feel like that's more for Rossi. And
All right, we'll do as our intro into Rossi.
I'm looking at the Red Bull Racing news about Gasly.
Ooh. So, according to the good doctor himself, Helmut Marko, believes that Red Bull Racing will lose Pierre Gasly if they cannot give him a Red Bull seat.
I agree 100%.
Here's my extra thing I want to add to it.
Okay.
Why would they give him a seat? You have Checo.
If Checo wasn't working out.
I know. I'm saying at this point in time, why would you? Checo is fine being Max's number 2. Gasly will not be. We know that. I honestly see Gasly replacing Lewis at Mercedes.
Woo!
Whenever Lewis retires.
My
Because he's already the number 1 for AlphaTauri. So he's not going to go be somewhere else's number 2.
My thought... Or continue.
And, I mean, where else is he going to go to be another one that isn't going to have another... He's not going to McLaren. He's not going to go to Alpine because whenever Alonso leaves, it's going to be pastry. And yes, we just make sure. We know we're saying his name wrong. We know we are.
But he's our fluffy pastry.
He is our fluffy pastry. I mean, he's not going to go to Aston Martin. Not going to go to fucking Williams. He's not going to go to Alpha. They're going to have Valtteri and Porsche. Sure as hell is going to Haas. He's not going to go to Ferrari. He's not going to replace Leclerc and Sainz. That the next people who are off the grid realistically, outside of just being not qualified racers, are Alonso and Hamilton. And Alpine already has a replacement for Alonso. Merc doesn't really have any great drivers in their system right now that will be ready to go.
Here's my thought on that.
I'm right? Is that your thought?
No. Merc don't really... You know who's going to replace when Hamilton leaves? I think you're forgetting who was their...
AMAG supremacy?
No. I think you're forgetting who their third driver was.
I don't... Nope.
Yeah?
No. I completely disagree.
He would be a great rear gunner for George, and you know it.
No.
Yeah? And then Pierre would go to Alpine.
No.
Yeah? Ocon would go to Mercedes. He already has the link.
No.
Roll credits.
No.
Yeah. Honestly, he would probably already have stars in his eyes with Alpine if they were doing probably just a little bit better this season. And yeah, they do have pastry. Crystal ball kind of looking a little bit like Ocon would leave to go back to Mercedes.
I don't think they would take him.
Who would they take then?
Gasly. I just said that, damn it.
I think they would take Ocon before Gasly because they would take somebody who has been in their organization and knows it top to bottom already. That is a safe pick. Mercedes is far enough ahead to where they will play safe over taking too big of a risk.
Do you really think that?
Yes, I am calling Gasly a bigger risk than Ocon.
No. Far ahead is the part I'm... I'm pretty sure them being tied with Red Bull having 2 DNFs in the first race in constructors, means they are not far ahead at all. With
They are
Mercedes
still
powered
they are
drivetrains
still
being the
comfortably
bottom three.
they are still
No,
comfortably third on the grid.
that's not
That is
far
a
ahead.
comfortable.
That's not far ahead though.
Even if I were to go by that, they are comfortably at least top 3, and I still think they would play it safe and go with the guy who knows their organization.
Gasly will give you higher highs and not as low of lows.
Disagree.
No,
I love that silent standoff we just.
No, no. Yeah, I got nothing for that.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, if you got nothing for that, you need to lead in this next one too about McLaren, because you had to share the article with me because the sound that came out of my mouth when you said it.
There was no sound, I'm pretty sure. Audi has increased its offer to purchase part of McLaren per Bloomberg.
$718 million.
They increased to 200 million euros, whatever
From
that
450
is.
to 650. Cheese us.
Not only is this just a rumor, but they signed a letter of intent, meaning they are actually actively discussing this.
That's, in the grand scheme of things, do you see this being a big win for McLaren? Because if this happens, it's going to be an Audi engine in 2026.
Here, I am for it because I think you're going to have. I think Volkswagen as a whole is willing to pump money into it. And the biggest thing McLaren has needed over the past decade has been money. Its biggest shortfall has just been cash flow. They are going to get that with a Audi injection of cash. So you're going to have a McLaren Audi, 100%. I think it's going to be it's going to be big. Because their biggest thing is facilities right now that they're struggling on. And you can get all those facilities that you need to be a top team. That right now, really Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari are the only ones who have. You can get into that top tier. Which McLaren's been trying to, but they just can't.
I think I'm a little more intrigued by that possibility of Porsche with Red Bull. God, that fits from such an aesthetic.
Yeah, it's great.
I just from aesthetics, not even from performance. Yeah.
I'm here for it.
This is gonna be wild when we get the new engines in 2026.
It's gonna be absolutely bonkers.
I'm here for it. Just a quick question.
Okay.
Do you think an American engine will ever come back?
No.
Even though Ford technically ran this shit for years?
No. If they did, they would be in at least an Indy. But they're not.
Fair.
I mean, you have Honda GM. You have Honda GM in Indy right now. And I don't see GM really having any interest in going for a move into your top tier. I see we're more likely to see Toyota come back than we are to ever see a North American manufacturer.
Fair. It would be cool to see a North American manufacturer. Maybe, come the end of 2023, we've had our 3 races in America. And those 3 races are great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe then we'll start to see the articles of, oh, there's faint interest from Daimler Chrysler, or not Daimler Chrysler. It would probably be Mopar.
Yeah.
Or, here's faint interest from Ford wanting to take back the crown from their old Cosworths. Or
yeah, I think if anyone from North American manufacturers, it's gonna be Ford. 100%, because of they're the only ones who really seem to be really doing a lot with electric, which, given it's a hybrid engine, yeah.
I feel like Chevy would definitely try to take... I feel like if Ford stepped in, Chevy would start to side-eye. But yeah, I think the push to electric is going to be the one thing that's going to pull them both. Or at least have some corporate fat cat, a part of their board, be like, hey, that would be cool, and they would leave it there.
Yeah. I think there's still just that recovering from like 2000s crash, along with market crash specifically, not wreck, along with recovering from everything that's gone on in the past 2 years. So I think that really seemed to hardcore affect Western automakers. I don't see it being a realistic possibility. I think, but if it does happen, I think it'd be really cool. But actually, I have a question for you, Faxi.
What?
Do you know what this week is?
It's motherfucking Ross-Seek!
Ross-Seek and the return to Australia. And Alonso is not returning with engine he's used before, because he's on his third ICE.
How the fuck are you on your third ICE in 3 races? What the fuck is going on over at Alpine?
Well, apparently not reliability tests.
I mean, rip. It just... He has about as much luck as we do at Formula 1 2021.
Hey,
if you turn up the reliability all the way.
Don't lump me into your shit.
Who's the one who burned through... How many MGUHs did you say you burned through in like 6 races?
5.
I have to laugh at you on that. I'm just waiting for the shut the fuck up. No, it... Just what the fuck, dude?
Man. Alpine and Alonso struggling in Australia.
So I found article from Racing News 365.
All right.
He moved to his second ICE in Saudi Arabia as a precaution, with Alpine identifying a sealing issue after the season opener in Bahrain. And then the team's post-race checks on the new engine determined that a water pump-related issue has eliminated it from his pool completely. Maybe he gets his first back?
Maybe he gets his... I don't know.
Maybe he's just screwed.
Maybe he's just riding the struggle bus.
I mean, he's... God, that's gotta suck. How many races do you think he goes on this engine?
1.
Hey.
if anything has shown us, it's 1.
Hopefully it didn't go out on him. Dude, I'm so happy for Ross-Seek. We were talking about tracks earlier. We obviously need to talk about the changes to the Melbourne circuit.
I know. So not only is the NHRA doing a lot of shit with the Las Vegas GP, but they're also going to Australia with the DRS drag strip that they've created.
Side note, I really want to see the V8 Supercar Series race on this track with this new configuration.
Ooh.
I love the V8 Supercar Series. I love watching it, and I think just watching them, people driving giant bricks from turn 6 all the way down to 13, down in Ascari. I'm not a fan of these 1 DRS zone triggers 2.
100%.
I'm not a fan at all. Honestly, you should have just kept 2 DRS zones.
Yep, I want
turn 2 to turn 3, because I always felt like that was a better passing opportunity than 16 into 1. But I could be wrong there. And then, honestly, only 12 to 13. I said it about a different track, and I'll say it again. 9 and 10 give me Cops Corner feels, where something could go really bad right there, especially in a DRS. And I think they disabled DRS through there.
They do, because you have to brake a little bit. Because it's a slight break through there. So it'll auto end it through the 9-10 sequence and then kick back up where it did before.
I mean, you'll have to brake unless you're Mercedes and you're having to run high downforce for your porpoising again.
I mean, they don't need to brake so they won't get to a high enough top speed for it to even matter.
I mean, I'm curious to see the upgrades that they are bringing. It looks like I lost my article that I did have about that.
I know the front wing. They're going for a very, very flat front wing. Seems to be the big change.
It's not just the front wing. They're bringing a rear wing that has a smaller main plane.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Formula One. They did a Tech Tuesday breakdown of it, talking about how Albert Park has a higher downforce than Jeddah, but this wing still has a smaller area than the Jeddah wing. So it's almost like, I guess, the combination of the front and the rear, Mercedes could show up and finish 4th. It's as high as I'm giving
Talking
them.
4th for constructors, or
for like Lewis or George finishing 4th.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I liked the changes. I just don't like how they treated the DRS. I think the outcome of this race is going to really continue to spur the do we still need DRS discussion.
I absolutely love the changes they've made on every corner. It's the DRS turn, no DRS drag strip for the back straightaway, whatever you want to call it, the back split straightaway.
16 to 1 and 12 to 13. That's the only places it should be. 12 to 13 was the original one.
Yeah.
I do really like what they did to 9 and 10, though. I really hated.
12 to 13? You mean?
It was 12 to 13. And I'm thinking the old way, because you came out of 10, you had that really long left-hander, and the whole time you're thinking, okay, you've got to flick it into 11. You'd go into 11, and then you would just be gunning it out of 12, and then you'd have DRS down to 13 because you have the hard right-hander.
Oh, no. You're thinking of 10 to 11 is what you're thinking of.
No.
13 is the left right before the pit entry.
Dude, I'm looking at the official layout as of April 1st.
I'm also looking at one.
I'm literally looking at I'm on Wikipedia.
Well, that's your problem.
But yeah, it should just be well, no, if I say the old DRS zones, then that's 2 down to 3. Which, okay, keep that. They didn't need to add an extra DRS. They didn't need to add 2 extra DRS zones. I think it's going to be overkill. Just hands fucking down.
I saw an updated layout from that was for like the marshals and stuff. That was slightly different, but that's irrelevant at this point.
Yeah. I mean, do they have an updated marshal one?
They do. I just saw it, and I will.
I try to get the marshal layout, and it's like, oh, you mean Wikipedia? No, bitch.
I swear I just saw it.
I mean,
whatever.
TLDR, we don't need 4 zones, and we don't need 1 timing loop per 2 DRS zones.
Yeah, 100%.
Just that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Driver to watch, team to watch. What you got?
driver to watch. You already know who my driver is.
Kevin Magnussen.
Seb Vettel. Let's see what he does.
Can't wait.
I can't wait either. I hope he has a good time. I hope he has a wonderful time. I hope he feels great. I hope he feels rested.
Seb for podium.
I hope he feels great. I hope he feels rested. I hope he's ready to go. I'm not going to say Seb for podium, but I hope he has a great race. Team to watch. I am going to be I'm going to be watching Mercedes and see what this big upgrade does. But when I think team to watch, I think I'm going to have a little more attention on the Papaya Menaces. Just because it's Danny's homecoming. And I want to see what 2 weeks does to... There's already been reports that the morale is starting to drop from these last 2 years. And I want to see how they are affected.
Yeah, I think they're kind of in a now or never spot, so I definitely agree.
Oh, you sent me what you were looking at on the track layout, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, they don't even count those as turns anymore. What the hell?
9-10 is no longer a turn.
So yeah, 8, and then what would have been 9 and 10? I don't like that DRS. 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 I feel like there's a little too much turning to have no rear downforce. Somebody's going to spin.
Sonoda.
Shut up. Somebody's going to spin in free practice 1, and I think they get rid of it. Driver to watch, team to watch. Who you got?
My driver to watch? It's got to be Daniel Ricciardo. Return home.
Okay.
I want to see him at least score points.
I think we all do.
I want to see him score some points. My team to watch? Red Bull. Can they maximize on a track that I believe will favor them slightly over Ferrari?
Okay.
And I think, can they make something happen?
It's going to be very interesting to see from them.
Yeah. All right. Podium predictions. Right now, we're currently neck and neck. Facts with 6 points, and I am at 5.
Okay.
So just
I'm
behind,
actually surprised I was beating you at least once.
you got really lucky with Charles in second.
I've never been so happy to hear Charles finish second.
My predictions, I have Max taking
I'm already shaking my head now.
first place. Charles in second.
Charles in charge.
And continuing with my trend for team to watch, I have Checo in third.
Keep Checo third, but put Charles and Carlos 1-2. Ferrari gets another 1-2. Final answer.
Who's winning?
It's
Carlos or Charles?
It's going to be Charles, Carlos, Checo. 1, 2, 3. Final answer.
Max DNF? That's the only way I see that happening.
Max gets wing damage early. He does not start from pole. He gets aggressive. Something happens.
Alrighty. Be interesting to see how that ends up happening.
Australia is notorious for calamity going into 1. I mean, this is where we had, not really first lap, but Alonso with this massive rollover. There was Ralph going over. Didn't Ralph go over Michael's car that one year?
Was this where we had the...
I know Ralph went airborne.
Was this where we had Rosberg and Hamilton take each other out at?
No, that's Spain.
Spain. Okay. I was thinking of the end of the back straightaway. I was like, is that?
Yeah, that was that
similar.
awful small DRS zone
Yeah.
going into my least favorite part of Barcelona.
Yep.
Who is your dark horse to perform better than usual this week?
Guan Yu Zhou.
So more than a point?
I have him sitting around that 7th or 8th place.
Mick
pulling the point.
Mick gets points. Final answer.
Works for me.
I like it.
And with that,
two things I want to...
last words?
Last words. Something that was pointed out to me on Twitter. This is the first race in 5 races that has been during the daytime.
Ooh.
Last 5 races have been, or the last 4 were Losail, Yas Marina, or no, Losail, Cornish, Yas Marina, Bahrain, Corniche.
Yeah. Because the one before that would have been Barcelona. Or not Barcelona, Brazil. Wow, other B word.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've had a day race. It's weird. Something else that was kind of quirky. I meant to bring it up to you before we started recording. Didn't know if you wanted to touch on it or not. Tire compounds for this week per the official Pirelli stuff. C2, C3, C5. They're not even going to worry about the C4s.
I know they're believing it could be a possibility for higher tire degradation. So it could be interesting to see what we get, and I feel like we'll be something that's a lot of speculation, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, nobody's going to run the C5s during the race at this point unless you're going for fastest lap.
Yeah, 100%.
It's going to be I believe the front 2 without a doubt will be on the C3s on the mediums.
I think you're going to see pretty much everyone running mediums. I don't think you're going to get a one-stopper.
You'll get a few people in the very back on hards.
Yeah.
Without fail.
You get people in the back who don't think they're going to get any positions in that first few laps on hards.
Yep. Without fail.
So you're going to have Williams and Aston Martin on hards.
At least one from each team, I think.
Probably both Williams, if we're being honest.
I guess
Stroll will definitely be on hards because he's not going to be anywhere near.
Yikes! You just don't like Stroll. Got to ask what you're up to this weekend. Are you gonna be watching the race from home?
As always, we watch the race from home.
At midnight, or it'll be 11 o'clock for you. Are you Mountain or Central?
I'm Central with you.
Okay, you're on Superior time zone.
Yeah, exactly. Lake Superior time zone.
There you go.
Yeah. 100% race will be the big thing. We're getting into the end of the season for NBA, for NHL, so it's just going to be a lot of sports this weekend.
My Spurs made it into the playoffs. I'm so excited.
My T-Wolves should be making it. My Bucks definitely made it. The weird thing about being in a weird spot where you like both teams, and thankfully they're not in the same conference. And my Wild are doing good. Flowers is doing his shit. So I'm happy. And with that, that'll wrap up our 2022 Australian Grand Prix episode.
Yep, I get to go pack my 3 togas for the LAN this weekend.
Oh, yeah, you got your LAN.
I will be at LAN all night in Grapevine. I am actually getting an unofficial watch party together to watch the race at midnight from the LAN. We watched Mexico last year from it. So it's going to be fun again. We get midnight, so it'll be in the middle of the Quake live frag hour. And then in the middle of Jackbox, we'll have a few of us gathered around people's PCs watching the race. It's going to be legit. And I believe it's open bar night, too.
It's always open bar night at my house.
Let's go. Lead us out, big boy.
All right. Like I said, that was the 2022 Australian Grand Prix episode here with the 107% podcast crew. I am the Papaya Menace. Cody Catos Miller.
Second place.
God up. And joining me as usual was the Tifosi fanboy himself, Faxi, the Greek contrarian. Thank you all for tuning in. Much appreciated. We've seen some crazy growth for our first handful of episodes, both on Spotify and YouTube. It's been real nice. Make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. We post a lot on there and talk a lot of shit and
At each other.
at each other and hype up our Lord and Savior K-Mag on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the 107 Podcast on all of them. And now wrap it up. Thanks for joining us. Have a good Ross week.
Have a good Ross week. See y'all.